Hello guys, so right now we're gonna see the properties of collections. So we have a lot of options in order to fit our needs. The first obviously and the main property is the text. So here in fields you can see text fields. Well, you can see all the options you have, but we're gonna start with the text property. Right now I want to show you that I use functions instead of just the simple inside of the build collection, because I can use props with TypeScript, which is way better. So it's more productive, it's less bugs, it's more scalable. So I highly recommend you to use this thing, because I know it is going to have a benefit for you in all those areas, and it's going to be great. For example, email, you have the format. I want to show you regex as well, which you could, for example, if you want to do a slot like to an URL, maybe for SEO purposes, you could force that here with meshes. So yeah, I could use as the properties in line, as I show you right now. However, it is I have to remember, for example, many things. I have to remember the data type. I have to remember. So it's way better to use the function. So I will share with you the repo so you could download that and get all these things from the experience that I have with the tool. So what are the data types that we have available? So the first one is a string. We have array, map, geopoint, number. Well, geopoint is not supported, but just remember. But you have all these data types that you don't have to remember them. Sometimes I think it's kind of confusing. But you only create your function and you just import it, and that's it. You don't have to think a lot of things. So, yeah. Another thing is that, for example, the TypeScript support, it is not perfect sometimes. Well, it is good, but it's better. Okay, there you can see the examples. Okay, cool. So we're gonna see select fields. So select field is really useful and powerful. We could have select by one or select by multiple fields, So, but it is pretty easy. I have a code written there. So we're just gonna move on. File upload. This is one of the most interesting one. Has a lot of things where I'm going to start explaining you what is the storage path. Is the path in your bucket. So, yeah. Accepted files, it's about what are the types of files that you want to receive and not allow, for example, another type. The main types are image, video, and audio. So you could add that. So you could have like a solid field. Metadata is like the data that you add to the file. It's like extra things like, well, I don't know, anything. The file name is the name that your file is gonna be. Another thing is the source URL. So the URL, you could get the absolute URL. However, it is not recommended because it forgets where is the file located. So I don't recommend it. Image compression is that it is great. I did it in development mode, but in production they work very well. But you could resize, you could, for example, like, you optimize the weight of your image. So you could upload one image, or you could upload several images, images or videos or anything. So right now I'm gonna show you how I work with that, because I have a lot of tricks to share with you. First of all, as I told you, I like to use this variable called collect call. Cool. And from that, I get the collection. I expect to receive this kind of property by props, and I use it. And path is an extra ID outside of the the collection name. So because you want to be more specific, maybe the user ID or something like that. Okay. So sometimes when I want to say, for example, the exact URL, I want to show you something. I'm going to load an image in order to show you that what is a path, because I talk about a lot of path, but I haven't shown you what is a path. So I'm going to load an image in order to show you what is a path and what we are going to do. Okay, nice. So, okay, let's hit OK and let's go to the Firestore. Okay, let's see in Fire Storage, and it is in products. Image load, that is the ID that it's set, and it is there. Okay, cool. But let's check in the collection, well, in the document, and it is there. It is a path tool in the buckets. So what we're going to do right now is that we're going to save as well the URL. So I don't have, for example, when I am in the front end, I don't have to download and do an extra code because it takes time to download it. So I'm going to show you how you can use the callback on pre-save in order to get the Firestore URL from the creation, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, let's write a callback. Cool. On fetch, on pre-save, and as a sync function, and I will return the props.values. That's what I have to return. So, but right before that, I will create the functions in order to save the URL. Okay, cool. So there I have this storage source that I get from the props, and I just do a weight of the value that I get. If there is no image upload, okay, return the values anyways, but I get the URL, so I like to write image upload and slash URL. So that's it. So we're going to save this thing, and we're going to try again and see what is going to happen in Firestore. Okay. Let's save another image. We're going to open this and go to image upload and upload one image. Okay, nice. We hit save. Okay, nice. So we're going to see in Firestore what happens in Firestore, and there you go. You have, well, I saved the metadata. Maybe I didn't want to say that, but okay, not a problem for now. But I get the URL, the exact URL. So with that URL, I just can't call it in any image or see, I just get the file. But if, for example, with the path, I can't do that, So if I type this thing, Google isn't going to understand, The browser isn't going to understand. So it is important. Okay, let's move to the next switch. Switch is pretty simple, but it's pretty useful. It's a boolean that you can set to false or true. So it is useful for many things. Okay, next is references. References is not very known in data type in Firestore. However, it's pretty useful because right there, for example, okay, I have created another collection. I don't want to spend too much time, so I have already created another collection. And I will create it and this document, so I have the reference of the document, so you could have complex relationships in your database, and you can see there the type reference, and it is useful for having relationships and navigation. So I highly recommend that you check this property as well. Okay. Okay, so we send the path, well, this is another that one thing that I have created. However, remember that in the path you could, have you receive some proof and you can get an ID and well, X, Y, and Z, so you could do your process there. So that's how you can create it, Okay, next, date. Date is pretty common, useful. By default, you have the mode date or the date time. So with the daytime, you're more specific. You will save the hours and and the minutes. However, there are other options which are great, which are, first of all, is update on create. Every time that is create, just create a timestamp without, automatically, and on update every time that you update, which is pretty standard in databases to have those fields. So it is awesome. It does by default. Group. What are groups? Groups are like, sometimes you have to have an schema in a field. You have to have certain things. So I have, for example, a group created by an array. So I can create, many objects which are going to be inside of an array, but they are going to be exact, So it is absolutely awesome to have this thing because, it's kind of complex a little bit, but you have right there or above, you have the other example. So I will share the code, remember that. So next thing, key value. Key value is when you don't have a specific schema, that some information is going to be there, but sometimes it is not exact. This happens with some applications, but you just would like to have the information right there. So you want to be really open. So there you have the documentation, how it shows that you could have, arrays without any constraint. So sometimes it is very useful. So you just type the code, copy the code, and there you have, you add the key. Well, let's try another field. There you can select what type. For now, we were going to select, for example, date, and we are going to add some information. Okay, let's try with this. But let's change it right now a little bit, Let's add a map, for example. And inside the map, I want to add an array, for example, to try to use different data types. So I have the array, so I add, for example, number 1, number 2, number 3. So it is nested, but there is no constraint. I'm building as I like to. So sometimes it is useful. So I'm going to leave this thing because I don't want to complicate myself because I remember how you could type this. But anyways, we're going to check the database, and there you have. Okay, groups and key value. Okay, cool. Let's see the array, see the map, see the direct string. So there you have it. Okay, repeat. Repeat are arrays, but single arrays that you could have. It is different than group because in groups you have several fields, but you have like one thing, and you just create an array. It is an array, to be honest. So there you have it. And you could expand it as well. You can create several ones. Block. I haven't personally used blocks, but I don't think that's too much difficult from the others one, so you could have it. Okay, what are data types are supported? I wanna tell you this thing because in order to know, for example, an array, a booleans, the geopoint is not supported, map, number, reference, and a string. Okay, those are the data types available. So, yeah. Field and preview. And the field is to have, like, you want to have a custom form and a custom field, in your form. So maybe you want to add complex or complexity. It depends on your needs. So you could, with React code, you could create a React component and you just add it to the field, So I'm field form. This is the custom, that the idea is that there would be an input and you could add that information there. So And the other one is the custom view. You know, right now I'm having a bug with the custom view. I will explain you why I have this bug. So this bug is because before I didn't have any information in the field. So what is it going to show if I don't have any information? So the idea there is that first of all I gotta have some information before I show the preview. You know, so preview is what you show, what you display, and field, custom field, is like what the information you're gonna get. So you gotta keep that in mind when you develop the form. Okay, let's uncomment the field, and there you see it. You know, there you see it. You can see the custom field and the custom view. And there you have, this is how they created that. They created a custom field with this complex form, you know, like selecting all this part of the body. So that's how they did it. So you could create anything with your skills of coding. Conditional fields. Okay, this is about like sometimes you don't want any action or you want to have constraints over other fields, you know? So you, for example, in this case, it has to be available in order to change the price. So that is the idea. Look at there, you would check, you get the values that are in the array. And with those values, you render something different. Toaster. A toaster is an UI that allows you to show information like it was accepted or it was successful. For example, if you want to do an API call, an HTTP request, so it shows all the information. So that is pretty useful when you develop custom things.